What's up, Geeked Week? My name is Tessa Netting, and I am so excited to bring you some updates around one of the Netflix movies that I cannot wait to see this year. The School for Good and Evil. Pause for dramatic effect. Today we're gonna have some never-before-seen sneak peeks from this new fantastical film from director Paul Feig coming up for you real soon. But first, I am so excited to be sitting down with the two stars of The School for Good and Evil, Sophia Wiley, who plays Agatha, and Sophia Ann Caruso, who plays Sophie. Hi, guys.
Hey.
Are you guys so excited?
Yeah, I'm so excited. I can't stop smiling. I'm literally like on top of the world right now.
Unlike Agatha. Agatha's not a smiler.
Yeah.
When was the last time you saw each other? Like, was it when you wrapped filming?
Yeah, because I'm from Arizona and then she's from New York, so we're never in the same place whenever we're not filming.
So now you guys are back together.
Yes,
Reunion.
back together.
So nice. So for the uninitiated, for the ones that aren't fans yet, how would you describe like The School for Good and Evil and your characters?
Well, I play Agatha. She's very dry and kind of grumpy, and she's grown up in this village called Gavaldon, where she's basically been characterized as a witch. So she's an outcast, nobody likes her, she lives alone in a cemetery with her mom. Despite all of this and how she's treated, she still has such a loving and caring heart. And the person that she, I think, loves the most is her best friend, Sophie. Their friendship throughout the film is, I think, the most prominent part. It's so beautiful, and you can see that it perseveres past all of the chaos that ensues.
Yeah, we think that Agatha is the witch, and we think that I am the good girl, and little do they know, some things go down. It gets a little rough, but when people ask me what it's about, I say it's about friendship and seeing eye to eye, seeing the good and the bad in each other and accepting it and loving each other. And it's about discovering both sides of yourself. It's not just about discovering that you're beautiful, as we have a lot of themes of that in the book. It's also about discovering that you're evil, you're kind of ugly, and it's kind of bad, but like, it's in everybody. Everybody's got a little bit of both, so it's the balance of those. And friendship, which we already have, so. It was pretty easy on screen to have it because we immediately connected.
So fans got their first sneak peek at The School for Good and Evil earlier this year when we saw a bit of Agatha in action at Netflix Film's 2022 movie preview, and let me tell you, they lost their minds. What did that response mean to you, seeing their reaction and knowing that you are Agatha?
I was so happy to see that the fans of the books were accepting of both myself and Sophia Ann as our characters, because I know how much fans of books care, because I am a book fan, and so when I see my favorite book being turned into a movie or a TV show, I want to know, who are these people going to be? They have my precious love in their hands, and it really is like a life or death situation, but I'm really glad that they're liking it so far.
Oh, they are so excited. We put the call out actually to some fans for some questions, and the Netflix Geek community, they showed up. So first up from Lore889 on Twitter, they want to know, would you guys be an ever or a never? Yourselves.
Oh, we 100% know this.
We know the answer. Go ahead, why don't you?
Okay, do you want to say mine and I'll say yours?
Oh yeah, let's
On the
do
count
that.
of three?
Yeah, okay,
Okay,
so I'm
so-
gonna say what Sophia Ann is and you say
And I'll
what
say
I
what
am.
Wiley is. Okay.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Never.
100% princess over here. 100%.
And you're not like a villain, but you just are like a baddie. Like you just walk into every room and you command it. I remember like that was something I noticed during our audition. I was like, oh gosh, I think she already booked the role. Like I had no clue whether we were both auditioning together or if I was just auditioning by myself and she had already booked it. You were so calm and collected, and you just knew that you had it because she is Sophie in the best way.
You're gonna walk into a room with that kind of confidence or nothing's gonna work out for you in this life. You're gonna walk into a room like, I got this. Yeah, I think Sophie's kind of got that too. She's like, excuse me, this is my world.
And your outfits reflect that perfectly. So
I know, we weren't sure what we were gonna wear
All of us,
today.
come on. We said black and white, good and evil.
Yep, good and evil. You guys nailed it,
Yes.
really. So Laura on Instagram wants to know, what was it like putting on those incredible costumes?
Who's gonna talk about the corsets first?
Honestly, I think you had the worst with the corsets. Every outfit was a corset.
Best. It was the best.
Yes, but there were days where
great.
both of us
Oh,
would be
it
like,
was amazing. I loved it.
can't breathe.
I liked it though. I was like, I need more. My poor dresser, her hands were hurting from having to pull the thing so tight. But that's very Sophie. She would have, it would be cinched to the gods. So, yeah. So it was. The costumes were amazing. I mean, really transforming, and it was such a collaborative process getting to help create them in a way.
really?
Yeah, I've never really had a more collaborative costume design experience. So in pre-production, before we were even having fittings, I had a call with the costume designer and she showed me all these ideas. I was like, oh, well, you see, I've already started a Pinterest board. And she goes, I have a board, share it with me. So we shared our board and we had half of the same things pinned on our boards. So we text all the time and I'm always sending her new ideas. The costumes were so collaborative, and Paul Feig wants to let you have your essence on everything. So the costumes scream our characters, but they also scream us as individuals.
Yeah, I think I had a pretty similar experience. I had done a couple Zoom calls with Renee, and I was just filling every idea that I had. And I actually took a lot of inspiration from Bridgerton because I'm obsessed with that show. I had so many things pinned and so many ideas, and she was so accepting and so receptive. And it was very strange going into some of my first fittings and trying on these princess dresses and being like, how am I supposed to act like I hate this? I literally, every single dress I put on, I told them, I'm gonna piss my pants. That was my verbiage because I didn't have any other way to describe how excited I was. It was literally a dream come true.
Yeah, I'm in a potato sack for first part of the film, but there's a certain point where we take a turn and my costumes are epic for the rest of the movie.
So here's a question we got over and over again. Have you guys read The School for Good and Evil, and were you guys fans of the books before you got cast? Once you got cast, did you read any?
I had a meeting with some wonderful producers, and they told me that they were making this huge film, and they were telling me the summary and the storyline, and I was the whole time I was thinking, I know this, I've heard this somewhere. And so after the meeting, I go onto my Goodreads account, look at my to-read list, and it's the first book there. I was planning on reading it. I finished the first one, and as I booked the role and was about to start filming, I was gonna read the second and third, and then I was like, wait, don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. You don't need to know everything that's gonna happen because then you're gonna start playing into all of that. So I had to literally restrain myself.
I'd known about it for a long time and I didn't get around to reading it until I was, signing on to do the show. And at first I thought, do I really want to read this? Because what is it gonna do to what I was already planning to do with the character? And I'm glad, of course I read it. How could I not? I had to read the book and I loved it. It's amazing. And I've sort of cherry-picked the things that I feel about the character that I could best represent. I started reading the second one, I was like, don't get ahead of yourself.
I like how you both had to restrain yourself. You're not yet, not yet. Yeah. So Zoe Smiley Face on YouTube asks, what line in the books or in your scripts said by your characters resonated with you the most?
You're asking me to remember my lines? You go first.
A line that I love where Professor Dovey has just shown Agatha that she is truly beautiful, that this perception that she has of herself that she's created because of what people have told her is actually all false. And she says to her, you've been beautiful all along. And there was no magic needed to make you this way. I really thought that was such a beautiful message to show that we all have this inner beauty about us, and it does not matter what we look like on the outside or what people tell us we are. We are all beautiful, and we don't need anything to change and fix that to make it more.
Well, that's such a sweet moment.
Yeah, it's very wonderful.
A key moment.
Yeah.
When you were talking about beauty, and I just thought there's a bit where I go, beauty is a full-time job. It is. It's it's a full-time job. That's just a side thought. But the important one, I think, and I'm saying I don't want to be evil. And she says kind of what Dovey said, which is you're not. And I grumble a little bit, and then you say, we'll always have each other. Mm-hmm. And that's the whole point, kind of. It's the best part of the whole movie, because what's better than a best friend? Nothing.
Or just being accepted for exactly who you are.
Exactly.
I say you're not, you're human. Like,
Exactly.
We don't need to be characterized as anything but just human beings.
So we can't talk about bringing this beloved story to life without also talking to the School for Good and Evil author, Soman Chinani.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here with these two empresses.
Empresses.
Wow.
Soman, talk to us for a bit about the process of adapting this book to film. Like, what were you most excited to see brought to life?
I mean, to me, it's such a part of my soul. I spent 10 years kind of building this world, so I never even conceived of the possibility that it would become real, you know? And I assumed also when it was gonna be made into a movie, first you feel like you're winning the lottery, like the idea that this is happening at all, and you have to constantly wake yourself up from this like living dream you're having. But then you also assume it's gonna be CGI, like the entire thing's gonna be this kind of pixel fest, you know? So to step on set and see the schools built to full life, and then see Sophie and Agatha brought to life by these incredible actresses, it felt like an out-of-body experience every step of the way because it's so kind of transcendent and magical. And I think it reminds all of us the power of our own creativity. What can possibly happen? These you know, experiences and thoughts inside of you come to life. It's been the greatest honor of my life, and I'm just very excited that all the readers and people who've lived in this world for, you know, the last 10 years like I have, we'll get to see it on screen.
They did your baby right?
Oh yeah, these two especially. I mean, you can't get a better Sophia and Agatha than the two Sophias.
The two Sophias.
I mean,
Sophia squared.
There are plenty of amazing magical schools in literature, and you know, I personally wish that I would have enrolled in some of them. What was your inspiration to make this story stand apart from the rest of those?
I just have different energy. I feel like I wanted a magical school that felt like a Madonna concert. I wanted this kind of like high female energy that was like powering the school because it's always about a boy. It's time to move on from that and bring forth a powerful, you know, female pair. When you think of fairy tales, you think princess and witch. And what if they were friends? Because to me, a princess and a witch, in a way, are the same. They both can't find happiness within themselves. They need something outside themselves. A princess needs love, and a witch needs the princess dead. So that was really the engine behind School for Good and Evil.
That is amazing. I love that. Next question is from Auntie Smoller on Twitter for Soman. What was it that Sophia and Sophia brought to these roles that made them the perfect choices for leads?
You know what's so difficult about each character is, you know, on the page I have total freedom to create these contradictions within a character. Sophie is a diva and she's a glamorous and she's a narcissist, but she's also secretly compassionate and has a deep heart and is a great friend at the end of it. But at the same time, she's also like, you know, hard as ice at times. And to find somebody who could play all those aspects, because Sophie, in a lot of ways, is me.
we've discussed this a lot. Someone and I are conjoined at the hip a little bit.
Yeah,
and
we are very similar.
Sophie's
humans,
unite.
You know, where we look at someone like Sophia Wiley / Agatha, who is good to the bone, and we don't quite understand them.
Yeah, we have had this conversation.
I'm evil, guys. Secretly, deep down, I'm cool and evil.
But can you say that without a smile?
I'm evil.
Oh God.
You're smiling.
I know, but
With a little twinkle in your eye.
Agatha was my conscience. You know, Agatha is what I know I should do. I think Agatha is everybody's
Yeah.
conscience, you know? So Sophie was kind of, you know, behavior, and Agatha was the conscience. And so the difference between who you are and what you do, I think, is at the center of School for Good and Evil. And no one on earth can capture the kind of glow and humanity of Agatha like Sophia Wiley. I mean, they looked all over the world for Agatha because she's such a big kind of iconic character in children's literature now, and there was no one who could play her like Sophia, you know?
It's true.
At the same time, I remember being like, at the beginning, Agatha has to be grumpy and cynical and have that kind of slight evil energy at the beginning, and we were all like, but she pulls it off brilliantly.
You guys both did a fake out. You really did.
Their pairing is absolutely fantastic, and the friendship is so strong that it is really the pulsing heart of this movie.
I mean, I gotta say, it is so powerful to see like two badass ladies at the center of such like an epic story like this. It is a dream. This next question comes from Melanie Sharpie Burgess on YouTube. What's your favorite scene in the book that you shot?
I'm dying to know know what your favorite is.
You each had 2 different scenes that I was sort of looking forward to. One was the wish fish scene, I thought, because I don't know how you filmed that scene.
No, me neither.
But to do it outside with, Kerry Washington as Professor Dovey, and the wish fish in the story are these, fish in the animal communication class that can read your greatest wish. You put your finger in this kind of magical lake and they tell you what your soul wants. And Agatha's wish ultimately is very revealing. And so to see that brought to life with you and Kerry there was just, that was sort of this chills moment.
Beautiful scene.
Because that really came from the heart. So to see it on screen was a big deal. And then Sophie, the 2 moments, one is kind of the fashion parade. And writing that in the book was one of my favorite moments. I think at some point she shows up in a chainmail bustier in the book, and my editor was at the time was like, "This cannot be in a children's book," and I'm like, "I'm not touching it." And so to see that kind of energy in all of your outfits, I thought was something amazing, and you play it so well.
That was fun.
It was so iconic. I think I agree. My favorite scene was the whole wish fish and Stimp scene. There was a lot of things that were not there that I had to act with. And so I think that was one of the most challenging days of all, because I just remember talking to my mom and my dad, and I was like, I'm not looking at anything. I'm having to talk to things that aren't there and imagine. And it really made me have to channel my inner child and that imagination that you have, because there was so many things that I completely had to create in my own head.
That's why I'm always encouraging kids to read, and because ultimately your imagination is the greatest power you have, and you can only develop that by reading in a lot of ways, because when you read a book, it's your version, right? So everybody who's read The School for Good and Evil, there's millions of different versions out there, and every kid has their personal one, and when they come to see the movie, finally this is a version they can actually share with their friends and family, but they're still gonna have their own, Each of you have your own, I have my own, we all have our own version of a story, but a movie gives you an opportunity to sort of collectively come together and show it off. Here's the question for you guys, I think, is, so the reason I wanted it to be about a female friendship is I remember growing up and in middle school and high school, the way that 2 girls would almost form this kind of union that was unbreakable. They would always be together, sleepovers, they would go to the bathroom together, they were just always together, always together. And then, a boy or a third party would appear at some point and create the slightest crack in the foundation of the friendship. And then the question was whether the 2 girls could get back together again the way they were. And I felt like that was a story I'd seen over and over in real life. And so I was just curious, your own experiences in life and whether you've seen that sort of play out.
Absolutely. I've had a lot of girlfriends, and it's difficult, and Sophia knows this, growing up in an industry like this. And it's hard actually to find female friendships that are really genuine and lasting and solid, because it is this sort of there's a very competitive nature. So for me at least, there's been that, and it's always been difficult. And I think that Sophie has that competitive nature. And I think that Sophia Wiley, I think that we have the bond, is the point I'm getting at. And then I think we maybe can both relate to having this struggle of third parties coming in, or whether that's frustration like jealousy, or whether that's a boy, or whatever it would be. It's always been difficult for me to have lasting female friendships, but I think that at the end, Sophia and Agatha have that, and I think we as pals have that too.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot as well in my life. I always tell myself friendships last much longer than most relationships do.
That's true.
So I will always try my best to put my friends before any romantic feelings I may have for somebody in a moment.
And always lean on your friends.
Yes, always lean on your friends, because they really are there for you in ways that most people aren't. They know your heart, and they accept you for who you are, and that union that you're talking about between 2 girls, it is really something so special. I think my best friend is my sister, and of course that's a bond stronger than just friendship. We are blood. Literally everything I'm going through, she has gone through, or is going through, or is going to go through. We know each other inside and out. And so that bond is unbreakable, no matter if I scream at her one day, or we punch each other, and we don't punch each other. Come on. But like when we fight, there's always that underlying love, and I think that represents Sophie and Agatha's relationship so much. They love each other, no matter if they're fighting.
The bond of a sister is like it never breaks. Technically.
Technically.
I mean, come on, the resemblance is uncanny. Come on.
I'm also thinking, like, it's so funny because Sophia's like, and I would always put a friend first. And meanwhile, I'm thinking as a true Sophie, and we're like, yeah.
So Sophia and Sophia, this last one is for you. We have one more super fan who has a question for you actually, and they submitted a video. So we're gonna take a look at that right now.
Hey ladies, how's it going?
Paul!
I miss you terribly. I hear you're taking fan questions though. Do you mind if I ask you one? Great, okay, here's my question. Do you want to see an exclusive tease of The School for Good and Evil? Ah, excellent, okay, great. Well, then I would like to, without any further ado, introduce to the world The School for Good and Evil. Roll it.
Did you ever wonder where every great fairy tale begins? Where the good become heroes and the evil become villains? Welcome. We've been expecting you. What was that?
This is it! This is real!
Oh, that's so sick! Oh, I hope my parents got to see that too.
This is so exciting because this is the first time that anyone is seeing anything from that. So everyone's gonna freak out, just like you guys. We officially know now that The School for Good and Evil is coming this September. It's happening, it's coming. We're so excited, we can't wait. How does it feel to see that?
I love it. We should be proud of what we did. That was hard work. That's insane.
It always is a little terrifying because we do our best as actors to put everything we can into a role. And then when we're done filming, we have to just trust, so much trust. But Paul Feig is incredible. He has literally not stopped working on this since we wrapped a year ago. And I can see the work has really shown itself. It's so incredible, it's beautiful. It's so much like darker than I was imagining, but I love that. I love the look of it, the cinematography. It's just stunning, and it's so exciting to see.
It's pretty cool.
Soman, how do you feel when you see that?
I just think that moment where the bird takes him towards the school is literally like, it just felt like ripped out of all of our imaginations. Like when she says it's real, like, that's a line straight from the book. So when I saw it, I just thought to myself, who's not gonna wanna see this movie? The whole world's gonna fall in love with these two girls very shortly.
Did it. Girl power. Girl power.
Yes. Soman, Sophia, thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure to talk to you guys and have this moment. Having Geeked Week and having you guys and revealing everything.
Thank you, and thank you for having us. I'm very, very excited.
Oh my God, you guys are the best. I can't wait to just spend a year running around the world with you.
Right? I'm ready.
And for those of you at home, there's plenty more in store for The School for Good and Evil before it comes out on Netflix this September. So be sure to follow Netflix Geeked and Netflix Film for all of the updates. I'll be back here at Geeked Week this Friday for a live episode of the Geeked Podcast, where me and my co-host Princess Weeks are gonna break down all the best moments of Geeked Week, including this panel. Geeked Week continues tomorrow with a whole day dedicated to animation, so we'll see you there. Bye!